All right. This is the first episode of Real Spill with Traplore. Today we're going to dive into UK, America drama. I need you lot to actually lock in. I want to talk about everything, man, and talk about him and his life. So, yeah, man, this is the first episode of Real Spill. I hope you lot enjoy it and subscribe. Yeah. What's going on, my bro?
Good to link up again.
Yeah.
Was at your party not too long ago. That was lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just excited to catch up, man. I know we got a lot to talk about.
No, man, we have, man. The party was good, though. Did you enjoy the party?
Yeah,
Because
it was sick. I don't really get out too much, bro. I don't really party like that. So just getting an invite, I'm thinking like, I'm actually gonna step out. Yeah, okay. Like,
everyone's kind of shocked. I can't lie. When you come, it was kind of a bit trapped, like your hair, because I don't think everyone's even seen you in that environment. But you was turning up, man. I see you with the girls, man. I don't know if I see.
Catching a little wine here and there.
Yeah, I
something
saw
like that,
you, man.
Yeah, man. It was fun. No, some cool people in there, bro. It was, all kinds of people. People doing different careers and that. Like, I was really just enjoying to chatting all different people. Like, Armani was in there, AP was in there. I was chilling with Spray, all of his crew, just getting to know some of his guys in his little entourage. It was sick. It was just a sick night, bro. I don't really be partying like that, so it was just good fun, bro. And I appreciate the invite, man. You're doing a lot of good things, bringing the UK scene together, because a lot of people you might not even catch a Spray and a Traplore Ross and an Armani Takes Risks all out together, So I bet for a few other people that was sick too.
Nah, man, that's what it's about, man. I thank you, man. Thank you for even turning up, because it always comes down. People invite people, and not everyone shows the same love. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I give you your flowers before we even start, because I think for me, and just being from the UK and doing what I'm doing and seeing how hard it is to break through, even in America, I feel like you've done amazing, and you're one of our own, regardless of anything else. So I'd say well done. But where I want to start, I want to ask you. You're originally from Croydon, right?
Yeah, I was born in Croydon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then when I was like 5, my family moved to Bognor Regis. I grew up there till I was like 18. I was 18 and moved back to London.
Yeah, no, I'm from Croydon, born and bred in it. But I want to just dive into like being the boy from Croydon 5, Bognor Regis 18. Like what gripped you? What gripped you to make this type of content? Like what was so enticing for you that you loved this life, or what was it about this life that you wanted to talk about so much?
Yeah, well, I had 2 older brothers, right? So they were quite a bit older than me. And they used to be into skateboarding, hip hop music. Just like, I think for a lot of people, skateboarding and BMX culture kind of brings in the hip hop culture. I know Adam 22, he's someone I've always looked up to, and he kind of was on the BMX thing. And then that sort of transitioned him to, listening to rap music, being out BMXing and skating and getting into rap music and then interviewing rappers. So for me, I had 2 older brothers that were into skateboarding and hip hop and all that kind of thing. And obviously, we moved from Croydon to Bognor when I was 5. So I didn't really get that London street culture dose like they did. But they were so into hip hop that, like, we was just in this house in the middle of nowhere in Bognor. But like, they would have all these records: DMX, Jay-Z, Eminem, Mobb Deep, all of this stuff. And I just soaked it up like 5, 6, 7. I was just looking up to my big bros and listening to their music, listening to the beats and the CDs that they had. Even like UK rappers, people like Jest and Skinny Man and stuff like that. Just all types of music, all hip hop, and I was just captivated by hip hop, like the stories, listening to Jay-Z lyrics. He's talking about growing up on Marcy projects, becoming a millionaire. Eminem, just his whole story coming from a trailer park. Like, these guys are like superheroes to me growing up. I wasn't into no Marvel, DC. I was into Shady Aftermath, the Rockefeller Empire. Looking at those guys, like they were the real superheroes. And a rapper that really got hold of me was when 50 Cent came out. I'd have been pretty young. Probably like 9 or 10 or something. And it's just this story of this guy, like, got shot 9 times and he made it, and he got a platinum album. I just thought this guy was a real life superhero, like got shot 9 times and survived. So like, I was looking up to rappers, like genuinely just these were like just the most interesting, fly, successful, and admirable dudes. And really just hip hop just got hold of me as a young kid, honestly. Like, there weren't too many kids in my school in Bognor. It wasn't super diverse, to be honest with you, were listening to hip hop. So I was a bit of an outcast, but I would hang with my brothers, my big brother's friends. I'd be like with the big kids. They used to go to like battle raps in Portsmouth and London and stuff from Bognor. And so it was just random, but they had me tapped into the hip hop culture. And as I got older and older, and then I moved back to London, that's how I kind of got into, I started shooting hip rap music videos for rappers, local rappers and stuff. And, eventually I just kind of found out about this YouTube thing, started making random different types of content. And I think it was really just the genuine passion for hip hop music that I had growing up with my older brothers, and just being obsessed with all the music that was in the house. When I started talking about hip hop and its history, I think even though I might not look like the biggest hip hop fan or the biggest drill music fanatic, I think people could see the passion and they could hear. They were like, "Damn, this guy knows his stuff. This guy's really into this stuff. This guy's really obsessed with this music," and it just connected with people, you know. And it's a blessing that that actually took off and took me to where I am now, because it's the most random thing. Like growing up, I would have never thought I'd be doing anything in the hip hop industry. Like I tried to do the hip hop music video director thing, and that didn't really go anywhere for me. But I was just looking for any way that I could kind of chase my passion and make a business out of it. And I've been very lucky, man. I'm blessed. I'm very grateful for this position that I'm in, and I'm just still grinding.
No, that's great, man. You did like I feel like it's a crazy life from when you start and where you end up. You see, obviously going back to when you were saying that you was growing up and it was your brothers that were they kind of brought you to the hip hop world, and that happens in life. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like when you're growing up, you kind of take the most influences of people around you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for instance, when I grew up, like my family were into football, like so I always wanted to be a footballer. Do you know what I'm saying? So, um, but you see when they're in that, you see when you were studying at that time, obviously the music. Obviously, I feel like the music is a lot of it is violent, like starting from them times. It
Yeah,
just even just listen to it. If you couldn't even see the videos, a lot of music was violent. So would you in a way would you say growing up, that's why the violence came with it in terms of like your outlet? Because obviously when you document on what you do, we don't really document on the music side of things. We document them because they're big people, but it is the violence. Do you know what I'm saying? So would you say like listening to that music, the violence kind of got you in as much as the music sound of it? Do you know what I'm saying?
honestly, it's not something where it's like the violence intrigued me. But let's be real, like people love true crime content. I definitely wouldn't make light of these situations, but you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't fascinated by gangs and street culture and what's going on in the criminal underworld. But what's funny is growing up, you know, I'd say my two passions were really music and movies. And I grew up watching all the gangster films, not even necessarily, you know, drill type gangs, but I grew up watching Goodfellas. I love The Sopranos, my favorite show. Watching like, you know, Tarantino films, watching Pulp Fiction, watching like mafia films, Casino. So I was always interested in like the criminal underworld as well as the hip hop, and those two go hand in hand. Honestly, like you know, gangster rap as far as actually music about the streets and what's really going on. Even all the way, I used to love NWA when I was a kid, and it was just like straight out of Compton, learning about both sides, learning about the criminal world. Someone like Eazy-E that was a drug dealer and a crip, to police brutality, learning about F the police. Oh, if you're a black man in Compton, you're kind of subjugated and uh, put down by society. So I was learning about both sides of it, really. And then the other aspect was like, I was growing up, I used to hear all these stories of like my dad and my uncle, just like, oh, you know, East End gangsters growing up in, they grew up in like South London, knowing about the Cray twins and stuff. So I was always interested in crime and the streets in not even necessarily the hip hop world, but then the gangster rap does come hand in hand with that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I would say that I've liked all different kinds of rappers over the years, and I used to like battle rap. But yeah, my biggest passion is probably drill music, gangster rap, because the stories are deep, and it's like I don't think there's anything wrong with that to kind of study
Mm.
it and look into it, because it's really those are some of the craziest stories going on in society. You know, people, someone like 50 Cent, even that, you know, ain't necessarily he ain't a gangbanger type guy. But he was in the streets. He got shot 9 times, and he lived. And to me, that's that's one of the craziest stories. I couldn't tell you anyone I know in my real life that got shot 9 times and survived. And to me, that's like one of the greatest triumph stories you could possibly imagine. They tried to kill him, and he became one of the biggest things in the world. So I feel like sometimes I think the streets get so wrapped up in the negativity, but I do think there's a positive side to it, and I always do try and put a positive or even an inspirational spin on my street
Mm.
stories. So that's something that's important to me. But I'm not going to cap like I'm not fascinated by crime, because it's
No,
crazy
no,
what's
no.
going on, isn't it?
I'm not saying you're fascinated by crime in it, because my opinion is, yeah, is like I understand street culture in it. Like you could be fascinated by street culture in it, but the street culture comes with crime. So someone like me, who I feel like who has lived a certain path or been down a certain path before, maybe I was fascinated by that life, by being that guy or that bad boy from the ends. That also fascinated me when I was younger, because that was my environment. Instead of even watching it on YouTube, I was living it. I was seeing it. I grew up in Croydon. Like there was so much things going on, but I felt like because I knew crime came with it, maybe because I was doing the crime, I kind of got not passion for doing crime, but the violence. I had to. be open to do certain things and be willing to. So I wouldn't say I was fascinated by it, but I accepted it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's why I was kind of asking you, because it's like that comes with it. Do you know what I mean? And kind of see how like you yourself balance it. But understanding it, but it's a good journey, man. So who would you say, who was your first ever big interview on that you felt like you probably studied like in the game? Like who was that?
Yeah, one of the first rappers I ever listened to was Jay-Z. I was
Hmm.
obsessed with Jay-Z growing up. Just, you know,
What do you think of him? No, what do you think
I
of him?
rate Jay-Z, bro. I respect him. I think he's just like one of the smartest businessmen to ever do it.
Hmm.
Might be the smartest, most successful black businessman to come out of the hip hop culture. And he's just an incredible person. I feel like he's somebody that he's had to do what he had to do.
When you
Look
say
at,
that though, because you've studied him,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So what? How he like in a short nutshell? How did he get to the top?
Well, that's the thing, right? So he was a drug dealer in the Marcy Projects in New York way back in the day. You know, he's come out of an environment that's so tough. He's just doing whatever he had to do. Started dealing drugs early, was making money early in his teens. He's somebody smart that he has always leveled up. He could always think beyond his block. He could always think beyond the Marcy Projects. He wasn't just stuck on his block politics. Once he realized that this rap thing and this gangster rap thing was a way that he could turn them stories into money and success, he realized that he had a bigger vision than that. And I feel like Jay-Z's one of them people, he's leveled up at every turn. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to sell drugs in Marcy anymore. I'm going to become a rapper, starting Rockefeller. He became a rapper, you know, Reasonable Doubt. And he was quite late in his life. Like he was nearly 30 when that was going on. So that goes to show not only you can change your life doing this thing at any time. He didn't let that stop him, right? So he's like, okay, boom, let me become a rapper. I got Reasonable Doubt, you know, volume 1 to 3. He's doing this thing, but he's thinking even bigger than that. He's thinking, I'm making money off this rap thing. I want to own the label, starting Rockefeller Records. Now he's moving up the chain. Suddenly he's got artists under him that are making money. He's discovering some of the biggest artists in history, discovering Ye, you know, all the different people that he had on his label. But that's the thing. That's why Jay-Z, you can never count Jay-Z out, right? Because then he starts thinking even bigger. He's like, okay, I started my own label. This is cool. I want to become the president of Def Jam. I want to become the president of the biggest label in this culture. Maneuvers it. That the Black Album said he was quitting music. I mean, he's a master of storytelling too, right? Jay-Z knew he weren't going to give up music doing the Black Album. Like, bro, how are you going to quit in your prime? But the whole narrative was around, yeah, I'm quitting music. I'm hanging out my mic. I'm going to quit music. I'm going to become an executive. Does that, parlays to become the president of Def Jam, takes that over, gets his masters back, and then next thing before you know it, Kingdom Come, let me drop another album. I'm back out here. So he is just a master of leveling up and storytelling. He can still jump in the rap lane, but then he got into the business lane and then starts thinking, well, how can I go even bigger than being the head of the president of the biggest label, owning all my masters? Like the chess moves are crazy. Then he starts doing, you know, deals in business, starts getting his own, gets his own drink, has the champagne that he dropped, the whole beef with Cristal, um, just started all of these different businesses and had exits. You know, got involved in Tidal. He's just been involved in loads of different, like Rockaware. He's just leveled up on a business level to the point where he's a billionaire, um, and just never stopped. Like that guy's set new heights.
So
That guy set the template. So yeah, like he's somebody just you know I've been fascinated by and I've looked up to for years.
so studying him, and I know you studied 50 Cent, and 50 Cent successful. He's someone, like you said, he's got one of the greatest stories. And actually, for me personally, he's one of my, like, I wouldn't say inspirations, but he is an inspiration, 100%. And like I actually, everyone always knows that he's my favorite. Like he's actually, I'm putting it out there, he's my dream interview in it. So I feel like hopefully I'll accomplish that one day in it. But compare, like, him and 50 Cent are always rivaling. Obviously, we'll get on to P. Diddy in a second, but him and 50 Cent are always rivaling. They're always doing this back and forth. People say that 50 Cent is not quite an entrepreneur to that level of what Jay-Z's done, or he's not more successful in it. I don't really know in it, so I think I'm learning in it. Where would you say in comparison, where are they? Where's 50 Cent?
I got to put Jay-Z above 50. I feel like Jay-Z's made bigger moves and bigger deals. I mean, 50 Cent's legendary. One of my early videos was about his deal with when he became a part owner of Vitamin Water that ended up selling to Coca-Cola for like 4 to 6 billion or something. He made like allegedly over $150 million himself out of that deal. So just incredible moves, but I think the moves that Jay-Z made were probably bigger, and I think he probably set the template for some of the stuff that 50 did. I think the thing 50's good at is kind of like seeing someone else having something going on and getting his own version of it. He saw the Beats by Dre thing going on, got SMS headphones going. You know, he saw Jay-Z's. I've forgotten the name of Jay-Z's. Is it? I think Jay-Z's champagne was called Armand de Brognac.
Yeah.
And then 50 launched his own champagne. 50 don't even drink, right? But he launched his own champagne. I think that's called Le Chemin de Roy. And like, I think 50's good at just seeing something else, someone's got a bit of emotion, and just going, all right, let me do my version of that. Whereas I think Jay-Z is a bit more of a mastermind, just as far as like having a completely original vision. Like, no one was thinking to become the president of a label back then. Like, you know, going off and parlaying your rap career to become the president of Def Jam and controlling everything, and you know, shutting down Joe Budden's career and getting all of his masters back. Like, he's a genius. Like, things that you would have said, it's impossible. It's impossible for you to get your masters back. Like, not for Jay-Z, bro. He's going to become the president of the whole label and take that thing over. So I would rate Jay-Z above 50 Cent, but 50 Cent's business career is nothing to sniff that too.
No. Well, I'm still going to pick, like, Jay-Z, I'll sit down and do £1 million meeting with you, but I'm still going to pick 50. Like,
you know what it is, though? It depends who you identify with. I think there's so many different stories. Like, if you identify with 50's story more than Jay-Z's story, 50 was a bit more on the gangster violent side of the streets. You know, Jay-Z, yeah, there's been stories of shootings and drug dealings, but really 50 was in a situation they was trying to kill him. You know what I mean? They tried to kill 50 in another universe, in another timeline. 50 could have been out of here. You'd have never even heard of him. But, you know, God willing, that's what was planned for 50 to survive and do his thing. So, and you know, the thing that really gets me is just like, you know, the importance of just big statements like "get rich or die trying." That's not just an album; that's a mantra that millions of people live by. You know, get rich. I'm trying to get rich or die trying, and 50 nearly died trying. So that little one phrase.
That's why I say again about the violence, because that's a prime example. I feel like 50 Cent's story resonates with so much people because of the violence, and because of the violence, it's like, I wouldn't be a part of that, or I understand that. And I feel like that's why I asked you before. The first question was, did the violence ever like make you feel like, do you know what I mean? Because that's another story. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like the thing is, it's like, people have asked me that before, and I wouldn't even cap. Like, I am obsessed. Like, I'm obsessed with the streets and with rap music. Like, I'm not ashamed to say that. Like, I wake up, eat, sleep, and breathe. What's the new release? What's the new news? Who's got hurt? Who's done this? Like, what's going on? What's the latest lyric where someone's claiming a madness? That's just what I'm into, bro. I wouldn't be where I am today if I wasn't at least some degree obsessed with it. But it's not in a negative way where I'm pushing it and I love it. That's just the way things are, bro. We're never going to stop murders happening. You're never going to stop crime happening. And really, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't condone these things, but there's got to be a level of admiration for somebody that's coming from the worst environment, and they're having to break the law to make something of themselves. 50 had to break the law to get where he was. Jay-Z had to break the law.
Did P. Diddy?
To get to where he was. P. Diddy maybe could have left a couple of laws alone, innit?
But do you think he's guilty? Because this will come out before his things done.
You know what's mad? Yeah, you know what's mad? I was pretty convinced he was finished. And then a couple of things have come out in the trial.
Because you've written like mad things, like he's I was watching one of your documentaries, the name's out of my head. They killed who did he kill? He's killed someone. You said
Diddy. There's rumors of a couple different people, but nothing substantiated.
So do you think Diddy's got bodies on his bodies on him?
I need to do more research, but a lot of people have said that he put up $1 million for the 2-pack hit. So I wonder, honestly, like, I've got some theories that, like,
what's your theories on that? Because there's a lot of theories going around in Hollywood about the P. Diddy 2-pack Biggie situation. So please, like, take us away, man. Give us your intake.
Well, there was a theory, right, that like Diddy had put up $1 million to kill 2-pack, and then like after the hit, Keefy D or somebody from that camp was on the phone with Diddy, and Diddy said like, "Yo, was that us? Like, was that us? Was that our hit?" And you know, allegedly the story I've heard, and like Vlad's broken this down to me, is that there was allegedly $1 million that was supposed to be paid, and it wasn't paid. And a lot of people have said, "Oh, that's why Diddy didn't get caught up on it, because he never paid for the hit." And it became this personal thing that happened where Pac had got in a fight with somebody, had beaten someone up. They, you know, slid back later that evening and caught him on the strip in Vegas after the Mike Tyson fight. But, you know, the rumor was that Diddy had, my opinion, my rumor, you know what I'm saying, not confirmed, but like essentially that there was like $1 million put up and Diddy was supposed to pay it. But also, you know, they just charged Keefy D with the murder. He's fighting that. He's going not guilty. He might snitch on Diddy. Who knows? If there's actually some evidence that Diddy had fronted up money, I don't think it matters. If I tell you to go and kill someone for 10 grand and you go and do it and I don't pay you, I don't think that means
people be saying P. Diddy killed Biggie in the end. That's what the rumor in Hollywood is too.
I've heard a rumor more described as almost like not that he killed him, but he kind of let it happen.
Do you know what I heard? The whole story. So who's the president that signed P Diddy? What's his name again? The old one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Andre Harrell.
He maybe him, but he's like the old, and he's mad old now.
Before, yeah.
But the rumor had it that when he signed P Diddy, and that was always going on, he actually told P Diddy that, you know, you'll make more money off these two if they both die, than if they'll both.
Really true, innit?
And if they both stayed alive, and what you'd be able to do after they both die, and what you'd be able to own and create, would be 100 people trying to beat them. And obviously Tupac died, and Biggie died. And when Biggie died, the whole story was no one understood why P Diddy was in the car behind him, why he wasn't with him, why he didn't supply security. There was so much ins and outs of stories. A lot of people blamed P Diddy for that. So I feel like do you know what I feel about Hollywood, what's happening right now? I feel like we might see in the next 5 years this whole life of Hollywood come to light. And I feel like before there was always just myths, or we just think these things were happening or they wasn't happening. I think what we're starting to learn now is that a lot of rumors that you hear, 9 times out of 10, they are true. Do you know what I mean? And just because we're living this type of life, we might not be able to understand it, but in Hollywood, like, there is dark Hollywood secrets, because the whole thing with Diddy right now is that beyond anything, I've probably heard rumors for so long that Diddy's gay, or Diddy sleeps with men, and Diddy likes guys, but I feel like a lot of the rumors have been real, and I feel like that's the point I'm saying. Like, I've heard Diddy's gay before, so I feel like now when it comes to light, it's like, wow, even that guard that was arrested, even his name, Simmons, I think he was Simmons, the sex worker, and he had an interview years ago that was on YouTube for everyone to see, and he literally everything that's happening in this trial now, he literally said it on camera 8 years ago, and everyone deemed him to be mad. And now it's like, well, hold on, he wasn't mad, he was telling the truth. And that's why I feel like even with Kanye, people always label him as mad, but I think he's far from the word mad. I think
he's fully mad. He's mad. I don't know about the other ones, but yeah, he's fully mad.
No,
yeah,
he's not,
gone.
man.
Yeah, he's gone.
What? Let me tell you why I don't think he's mad, right? Yeah, cool. That deal when he was with Adidas and he wanted to come out of that deal. Yeah,
I don't think he wanted to come out that deal.
He
I think
did.
he fucked that deal, and then afterwards he's on some fake humble thing where he's like,
well,
"Oh, I wanted to get out of that deal, bro. That deal was flames."
I think he did, and I feel like the way he done it, he tricked them out of a deal so quick. Like, if
Tricked himself out of a deal, if you ask me, G.
no, but,
That's just the way I see
but
it.
But you say that, but then he's a multi-millionaire, he's a billionaire, whatever. Yeah. Do you think like he sat down there and thinking, no, I really need this. I really need this deal. Like, I'm Kanye West.
He lost his B though. Doing that, lost his B. I think he's just tapped, and then after the fact, he's scrambling like, "Oh."
But then let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Opinion, though,
No, that's what. No, like, obviously I understand. But let me ask you a question. Cool. You're Kanye West, yeah. You're battling the media. You're battling certain people in big places, yeah. It's not like you're beefing this guy. It's not like Digga D and Central CEE where you lot on the roads and you lot are beefing each other. You're beefing the internet. If they wanted to now, the people, because you're beefing people that own BBC, own Twitter, all these places, yeah.
Is he though? Like, really?
They could really just put out any rumor. They could put out any rumor about you.
I could put out any rumor about him, innit?
Do you know what I'm saying? But
he's just tapped, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
but you could put out a rumor, that's your opinion. But then say, for instance, if you now paid 1 million bots to now comment, "Wow, Kanye's gone crazy. Oh, who's seen this video? Kanye." Them 1 million bots now turn into like trillions of people that believe that. So I feel like, and the people he's gone up against, I feel like they have money to pay for the 1 million bots.
Yeah, I just don't buy it, bro. Like, for me, I think he's tapped, and I don't think it's bots. I think people see he's mental, and they just see that he's tapped. I'm not even trying to put him down or be like ableist against him. You know, we all deal with different mental health struggles. I think with him, he just feels like he can never be wrong, and he just likes to pick a boogeyman to try and blame everything on. When in reality, bro, like,
So do you think it's anything to do with Kim then?
No, not even, bro. I feel like he could have kept his marriage together if he'd have just calmed it down. I think the problem with him, yeah, he's got a God complex. Calls himself Jesus. He literally thinks he's Jesus. He thinks he's the greatest thing ever.
Why does she have so much kids for him then? It's a bit like...
Yeah, but it was good. It was good for a minute. They had 4 kids when it was good, and then he just lost it. And I think he burnt that bridge. Honestly, I think as a man, yeah, sometimes if you're in a relationship, got to kind of be diplomatic and you got to play both sides.
Yeah.
Ye ain't somebody like that. Ye will tell everyone to fuck off, even his wife is, anyone.
Who, Jay-Z?
Adidas, Jay-Z. Like, he thinks he's God, but he's not, bro. He's a man. He could have humbled himself and saved his marriage. He probably could have worked on it. He probably could have calmed it down. He probably could have saved his Adidas deal. But what he did was he basically, the slightest person going against him, and he just burnt every bridge. And I really don't even think it's a conspiracy against him, bro. I feel like he's tapped. Everyone can see it. He makes bad decisions. And at the end of the day, it's all well and good him saying, like, yeah, I don't need $1 billion. I lose my billionaire status, I'll get it back. Yeah, that's cool. But it's just like, that don't mean it's the right decision. He's somebody that in hindsight, he thinks everything he's done is the perfect chess move. But in reality, bro, he's just like, his life's just chaos and he's just kind of trying to make a narrative around it afterwards. I think the discourse about Ye being tapped, like he's been tapped, he's been tapped from day one. And I think that he's a tricky one because I feel like, let's be real, he's one of the best musicians that's ever done it. That's facts, but he's not God. He's not Jesus. He might be Beethoven of this era, but there's other people. That's why Ye melted down when Carti's album was doing so well and he wasn't on it. He was pissed, and it's because he feels like he's a god complex. He couldn't take seeing someone else like Carti.
He is a good.
Shine,
Obviously, I understand what you're saying, but
he was jealous of Carti.
in music, he is
Last
very,
couple
very
albums-
good.
Last couple albums,
Yeah,
ain't
but
even hitting like
but
that,
it depends. It depends what music. Because I listened to his actual Christian album.
That's hard.
So
Rated that
like that's cold. Even his visuals. You see Kanye West, I feel like he's more than just a musician. Like I think he's many, many things. I feel like, listen, do you know how it is, yeah, to make the classics you've made, like All Falls Down, Through the Wire, make them classics. Also, on top of that, then Yeezys, like you've done that. When you're doing with the visuals that you do when you're doing your arenas, you take things to another level. So for me, you're a magician, innit? And I feel like, cool, you could say these things are mad, but he could be playing with the internet. He's one person that doesn't really care about anything because he actually he's uncancelable now. You can't wake up he's done anything. He does and he survives it. So for him, I don't know. And the thing is, you say that, but it's like every time we do something mad, they're buying more of his stuff. They're going more crazy for him. So
Honestly, I don't know about that one. I feel like there's a weird thing going on at the moment where it's like, he's uncancelable. Yeah, cool. You're uncancelable. You might be worth 10 billion now if you didn't fuck around and lose your Adidas deal, messing around with a red hat.
yeah, but do you
stuff.
think? But this is what I'm saying to you. Cool, you could have been worth 10 billion, but we're not in his life. Like you said, didn't you? He might have had all this money and realized this money means shit to him. He might have had all this money and figured like money, Kim Kardashian, kids. I'm at the peak of peaks. I'm a billionaire. He's actually hit a peak that, obviously, I don't know your financial situation. I know you do very well, but he's hit a peak that a lot of people would never be on. And when you look at like P. Diddy, who probably hit a peak, look what he was doing. I don't know what Kanye does behind closed doors, but I'm just saying, he probably just thought, maybe I don't want this. Maybe I want the freedom to. So I feel like, so now money might not be, and when you're saying he's 10 billion, Kanye is not up. He's probably got 100 million somewhere.
He's calm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't think, the things that we're worrying about, he might not be worrying about them. So I feel like when you bring yourself to his level, that's why he probably says the stuff he says, in it. Like he's probably thinking, I'm a young black man. I've come from the church. I'm not going to be controlled. I'll say what I want when I want, and you can't cancel me. That's how someone else could look at it, though.
But you know what it is, bro? I feel like Ye's a really good example of, I feel like he's spreading this really shit message about, I say whatever I want. There's some things you shouldn't say, bro. If I jump up and call you the N-word right now, it's not going to be a good look. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me trying to put anyone down. It's just like, bro, I know there's certain things that aren't acceptable. There's certain things, if I did that right now, bro, that word's going to get around. You're going to tell certain other people. And people are going to be like, yo, Traploore Ross is a dickhead. He's out here calling people the N-word in interviews and that. It's like, and I ain't saying, everyone can have their opinions, bro. If I'm a secret racist and the N-word blurts out at me, then it's peak for me. And I shouldn't be doing that. But it's like, there's some things you just shouldn't say. And I feel like with Ye, it's not like, I'm controlled, I can't say these things. It's just common decency to just know, like, bro, I ain't going to say certain things. There's certain things he probably shouldn't have said. Like, I just don't even feel like there's no conspiracy against him. It's like him going after Jewish people. I think that's more like, oh, look, see, if I diss them, they take everything away from me. It's not like that, bro. It's just like there's a lot of Jewish people that just aren't trying to hear that. Same way as like me jumping up saying the N-word. All the black people I fuck with aren't going to be fucking with me after that. They're not gonna think I'm chill. They're not gonna think I'm cool. They're not gonna think I'm really for the culture, and rightly so. And it's the same with
Couple
Ye.
people will though.
Couple people would, but maybe they ain't the right people.
Talking about culture, yeah.
But I would never do that. I would never do that.
Talking about our culture, because you're talking about the black nigga thing, yeah. Central CEE and Digga D, like, what do you think about that? Because you've done a documentary on it, and I want to say Sench ain't white. Sench is, he's got a tone to him, innit? But
he's not. I mean, I'm not the arbiter of who's black and who's not, but you know, from what I understand, he's not a black man. He's not necessarily a white man.
Yeah, so that's loads of people like that.
Yeah, but it was never really about race to me. That's the thing, is like, I talk about Sench's nationality just because that was a secret for a while. Like, let's keep it real, he kept his race secret for quite a long time until he revealed it in an interview, probably partly because he wanted people to look at him a certain way, and that's cool. That's completely fine. My opinion about the whole thing is really about, when you talk about Central CEE, Digga D, was really what is drill music, what are the roots, and what are the actual...
Yeah, but how do we know, that, because London, how do you know he's not done these things?
Well, that's, you know what I mean? I'm just going based on all the interviews and what everyone else has said.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, I wasn't there hiding in a dumpster with a notebook. At the end of the day, there's that famous interview with Striker from CGM talking about, he was jugging for man's brethrens. And it's like, I ain't saying he wasn't a drug dealer. Really what it was is that the essence of it, it's like Digga D was really living the UK drill backstory, and he built the UK drill scene brick by brick. But he's dealing with the consequences of actually being from that environment that's derailed his career and his life. He's dealing with the disadvantages that somebody from the actual hood dealing with those problems.
I understand that. Look, because shout out Digga D, we're tapped in. I feel like on Sench is like cool. Like, I've seen like your thing on it, I've seen Bouncer's thing on it, and I just look at it as like, look, yo, obviously I don't know what you're doing, but cool, I know you trapped, and for me, if you trap and you're on the street, that means you're part of this life that we're living. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you wasn't just, if you worked at Sainsbury's and then you can't talk about certain things, but people are moving like this brother. I got bare friends that have trapped. They might not do certain things, but they can rap about this life because they're part of it. Like, I wake up every day, I'm out here, I do what I'm doing. I may not have stabbed no one, but, well, I sell drugs, so I got to be prepared to do certain things. And I just feel like, cool, I understand everyone's understanding from me. I understand everyone's, he's not this guy, but it's like, cool, you don't know what you're willing to do. He might be walking with a knife every day when he's going to shot his drugs.
Let me ask you this, does selling drugs make you a gangster? No,
but it means you're part of that gangster life in certain ways. And anyone can sell drugs, because we might know, as you know, you might know some of the top drug sellers might be some white men that are old and they live a normal life. It doesn't have to, selling a black drug doesn't just mean you're from the hood. But what I am saying is that selling drugs don't make you a good person. Do you know what I'm saying?
But
does selling drugs make you a good person? Does it make you legal? Does it put you into a system? Does it not? What selling drugs does give you a chance to go to jail. Same like shooting someone gives you a chance to go to jail. Do you know what I'm saying? So it carries a similar risk value. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
So to tell someone that, all right, yeah, but you've sold drugs, but you're definitely not part of this life. Well, what you say? I have to put my knife in a person? Because I guarantee you, in every single gang in the UK, from Brixton all the way down to a gang in East London, not every person in that gang has stabbed someone or shot someone. There's some people in that gang that just trap, make money, but they're part of that gang. You couldn't tell that person, they couldn't rap about it. And I do believe, and you know, we can ask Digga this too, but I do believe it's because of his skin color. Now it's like, that's just a little thing, because there's bare these rappers that are just ain't done none of these things. But
yeah, I mean,
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
It's more about just like the fact that it's like he was basically singing for like 5-6 years, and then suddenly like he came back with with a Nike tech on. Like the fact that he's gonna backtrack and be like, yeah, I basically put on the Nike tech for Americans, when you basically threw on a Nike tech like a costume and started talking about having the poker tucked to get some motion. This thing that real drillers had built, people like Digga D had actually built, going through them situations, and you basically.
But he's been trapping though. So what do you think he was? Hold on, do you think he was trapping in a suit?
No, I ain't saying that. I'm more just saying like for you to basically become.
No, but that's my point. But I'm saying, but deep it though. Think about it. He was trapping though, so he wasn't waking up putting on a briefcase. He's probably woken up every day putting on night techs, living that life, trapping.
Well, I didn't see him in no night techs before that first one, but
His line may not have been banging. His line
put everyone on night techs from that little bit.
His line probably wasn't making money then. He probably could have. He was in a Toyota Yaris.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that I feel, trust me, like I'm from the streets and I'm not saying that he is about that life, innit? Because the things that I've heard that he's not. But what I am saying is that you can't be disincluded from a certain environment when you add value to that environment. And if we're talking about the perception of a UK gangster or a UK hoodlum, because this is what we're comparing them to, I feel like he does add into that perception of a UK gangster. Before he was rapping, because he was trapping.
So 6ix9ine was a gangster before he started passing out them blood bandanas in his music video. He was selling heroin, right?
He added to that gangster life then. He added to that. And listen, in every circle, you have to have some niggas that are making money. Because if you're a real driller, and there's some drillers that got money, but a real driller, not everyone's making money. That's not probably... I was listening to a song with SJ and Mars Malone. Like, he said, like, boom, before everyone thought I was mad because I weren't trying... He says, the bars, like, I weren't trying to trap. I was going on a stabbing spree. But if you're 19 and you've got beef, you're not... Sometimes you're tapped into that. So some man are tapped into money. They're all part of the same circle. So I feel like you can't disinclude people just because you felt like they haven't stabbed no one.
No, that's not what I'm trying to do though. Really, my thing is it's just really a question about like what is UK drill and how did Central CEE get his motion? And basically UK drill was this thing that was going on for a minute. People like Digga D.
Yo. Wagwan, I'm live on the camera, recording an interview. I'm with Trap. You can hear you. I'm with Trap Law now.
Hey, what you saying, man? What you saying, bro? How are you?
Yeah, man.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear you, bro. Everyone's waiting for you, man. Everyone's trying to just know what's going on with you.
He's out already.
He's
in Ireland. He's in Ireland. He's in a hot island right now.
I'll be back soon, man.
Hey, we need you to come back and save the scene like Superman, man. There's a few, you know what I'm saying? There's a few little fake superheroes out here getting all the motion.
Yeah, no, it's only right, man. Leave them. You know what I mean?
We was chatting about, obviously we was talking about Cinch and obviously everything that's going on.
Like, really, let me ask...
Hold on, or Trap wants to ask something.
Let me ask a real question, yeah. Like, who is it that really built like UK drill as far as like drill, what it's about, what it means? Like, you know, because as far as I'm from my research, you got like CGM, you guys really was some of the earliest guys really doing it and building this drill thing. You know what I mean? Like, do you look back on them times and think like, yo, we really built that up from the ground up, talking about what was going on?
Yeah, you know what it is, bro? I can't really answer you that on the spot, you know what I mean? But like, because I've never really thought about it. I don't really care to think about it at the end of the day. It's just like, bro, man, do this thing. I might just rap with it. You know what I mean? So, bro, I don't even know how to answer that. Who built up UK drill, bro? I don't know, man. We all done it as a collective, you get me?
I mean, like, when I was looking into you lot, I remember just seeing you talking about, like, you know, you literally being in jail when you're getting your first million views. So, like, you was really dealing with them issues and actually dealing with that lifestyle when all this stuff was going on. Just as far as, like, having legal problems, you know, having just drama going on in your life.
I was dealing with it back then and I'm dealing with it now, bro.
But yeah, the Met Gala.
Like, the Met Gala, like, if I was to put up any sort of gang sign, like, fuck this local gun, fingers, and you don't think I'll be in the newspapers and that. Don't be trying to... You know what I mean? Trying to drag down my name and that. It's like, so certain things that I go through, other people don't have to go through.
Well, it's a bit unfair, isn't it? Because it's like, you're dealing with that. It's a bit unfair because it's like you're basically dealing with a lot of these issues, but you know what I mean? You sharing your story, these genuine, like, authentic stories from your past, that's what's like, you know, turned your life around and changed your life. But could you imagine a scenario where you came from, you know, a stable home and you weren't dealing with some of these issues in the area, how different your life might be? But it's like you're dealing with the cards you're dealt in life, innit?
Yeah, but I feel like with what I was saying, yeah, which I'll get your opinion on, yeah, before, like, I was saying, obviously my man used to trap in it, yeah, and obviously I was saying that not everyone in a batch, like, you're from an area, not everyone in your batch might do things. Some people might just trap, but they're still from your life. Do you know what I mean? They're still a part of your world. You wouldn't look at your brethren and say, "Raw, just because you trap and you don't do certain things, you're not from the streets." So I was saying that people are banishing my man, saying he's fully not from the streets, but there was an element if he trapped that he was part of the streets, if you get what I'm saying.
So I don't really know about all of that. I don't really know. Just because you trap don't mean it from the streets.
This is the thing that we've been debating, because like I was basically saying like, bro, people talking about 6ix9ine and how he became a snitch. Like, when did he become a so-called gangster? Like, when he handed out all them blood bandanas. I feel like it's something that you come from and that you live. It's not necessarily something that you just hop on when it suits you to get the motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, but no one really cares anymore, man. I've been saying this shit from the start. I've been saying this shit from the start, but it was started when I speak, niggas hate art. So I just kind of kick back and let people just see it for themselves.
But the hater thing's interesting, bro.
There's more things like, bro, if I was to post, when I went number one, if I was to post, he posted my number one billboard or whatever, spray painted it and done all of that shit. I posted it on the ground. And no one said nothing. They kind of praised him. Now, say if I was to do that,
You be straight to jail, bro.
don't be saying Digga's a hate, Digga this, Digga that. So it's like, bro, let me step back, let me fall back, and you lot will see it for yourself, you know what I mean? But the youth's doing good in life, bro. I can't knock it like he's doing good in life. I just don't understand why he's doing the bad boy thing. I'm not even doing the bad boy thing. Trying to be a bad boy. When he done that shit, I didn't go on the road. There's youths from his own area that didn't rate that.
The thing is, it's like,
And let me tell you something, that's coming from me chatting to the same youth that from his area that do it about it. I'm chatting to the same youth like, blood, this thing's real life. This thing's not a joke, bro. So guys sitting from the sidelines, putting in 2 pennies in, thinking this shit's a game. If someone gets licked down the bush now, who's gonna benefit? No one wins. My young G, whoever's gonna do something is gonna get life. Someone's gonna be dead over there, and my man's gonna be kiki and laughing, and he's not gonna care about that little that died, or whoever that's gonna be dead. He's not gonna care about them. He don't even care about his brethren. He never went to his brother's funeral. So this thing is a joke for him. Whereas it's not a joke for the man then. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, fully, man. That's the thing, bro. You're still dealing with the consequences of actually going through this stuff to this day, bro. And it's a difficult thing to see, just because it's kind of like that. You're somebody that, even though you've been through that and you've talked about it, I can get just from the way you're talking, you're not going to condone that type of violence. You wouldn't wish that on the next generation of people. But there's people that are, you know, making it seem cool and then just kind of dipping off to a beach somewhere and not really kind of, you know, dealing with those consequences. And that's why it's tricky, because it's like it's glamorizing a lifestyle that really is negative. Like, you wouldn't condone that lifestyle. You're dealing with it now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's true. Like I said, bro, it's not just him, fam. There's a lot of people do it, you get me? He just took it to the next level where he had no participation. Like nothing.
He's gonna take over. We got a film to make, a lie. We're making a film. So I just let them know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like with him, like, one thing I'll say about him, and I've met him just like I've met everyone in the industry. I always say, when we met, we argued first. That's how we met. We had like an argument, but how we're locked in and the conversations we have, he's at a different level. So I feel like with him, with what he wants to do, in terms of this guy's gonna make films, he's gonna make more songs. I think he's gonna have labels. I feel like he's actually an entrepreneur. So I feel like with him, his run's gonna be crazy. So I feel like he just needs to come out and do it now, and we're waiting, man.
He's got the foundation. He's just getting started. You know, I feel like
I'm praying, man. You know what I mean? I'm praying that man get out. Once I do get out, I'm definitely on the right thing.
Hey, everything happens for a reason, bro. You know what I mean? You'll look back on this time and you'll realize, like, God's always got a plan for what's ever going to happen. In a couple years' time, you'll be looking back saying, "Oh, that's what was meant to be," and you're going to be in a way better position, man. And you know, the world's your oyster, bro. Like, I know it's a negative place that you're in, and you've really been through it, but like, bro, the world is your oyster, and you're just right on the edge of a breakthrough, bro. Is there a moment in your career that you just felt like was just the littest, craziest, like, I've made it moment? Like, what was that moment for you before all the madness went down, where you was just like, I've gone clear?
Fucking some of the bad bitches, innit?
Hey, this guy is it.
I'm chatting. Speaking about the houses, is I reckon it's that, bro. Where man's some of the houses, a man's always thought before man had money, bro. I would love to have a few houses, and when you get to them few houses, you start feeling like, rare, boy. This thing's mad, cause man never thought man would have had houses like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's cool. I thought you was gonna say when you send your mum money, cause I remember on your snap you just wake up in the morning sometimes just send your mum 30 quid. But when I see that, I was saying, yeah, that shit is motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you, but some like I don't deep down when I was younger, I kind of always knew that yo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I never ever thought, yo, man's actually gonna have these houses. Man's actually gonna have all these. Yeah, bro.
But no, listen, the minute you go, listen, before we go, man, say something to your fans, man. Say something to your fans.
Boy, what do I need to say to my supporters? Fucking let you lot down, innit? Me. Be back soon. Literally, I'll be back soon. I'm back with a bang, bro. So yeah, just stay locked in. Keep writing me. I appreciate them letters, trust me.
What's your prison? What's your prison? Tell them your prison details. So those who don't know, because you know everyone's gonna watch this video. So
A9189 Delta Zulu, HMP Brixton. Yeah.
say nothing, my bro. I'll shout you when I'm done in it. Yeah.
Chat done, no.
I appreciate you, bro. Love, man. Legendary. I can't wait to link up with you when you're out here, bro. It's gonna be a movie.
Definitely. Alright, say nothing, yo.
Alright, cool. Let me ask you a question about the UK, because who alright, cool. Out of the rappers, who's the gangsters and who are the fakes then? From what you know.
No, I don't really even be knowing all the gangsters and the exact fakes. I ain't got a list that, like, you know, I feel like if anything, Digga probably even is gonna understand what's going on with that more than me. And it ain't even about being a fake or a real, you know. If you're a Lancey Foo, you ain't in the drill scene, you ain't claiming any of that, but you're still making fire music, doing numbers, and I got to respect it. If you're claiming all of that stuff and it doesn't check out, then it is a little bit like, because music's all about authenticity, bro. Like, imagine finding out 50 Cent never got shot. You'd be like, man, don't really hit the same. And so it's built on that foundation. But at the same time, there's a lot of street rappers that are hard, and you feel it because you feel the story. You hear the story, and then you go and Google what's going on, and it's really like that. So I wouldn't say like, oh, here's the list of the real ones and the fake ones. But, you know, I did my deep dive into Central CEE, and I just came to a conclusion that it didn't look like he was really living the life to the level that he was claiming it in his music. You know, he said on his new album, get you shot in front of a crowd for £100,000. Maybe not. I couldn't see him getting caught up in a murder for hire, getting someone bun in front of a crowd for £100,000 like he says. Lil Durk, on the other hand, he's really catching murder for hire charges. And I ain't saying that's right or wrong. I mean, it is wrong. But like, I ain't saying that that's respectable, but it's more just about authenticity. People love King Von because he was really doing that stuff. Central CEE, he's loved for his great music, and don't get it twisted. Central's one of the best MCs to come out of the UK, and 100%. I rate his music highly. I think a lot of people get it twisted, like I hate him. It's not even that. I rate him so highly, but at the same time, if you're looking for the authentic UK drill story, that isn't what it is.
So, I understand that. Switching away for like rappers, the UK content scene, like it's in the right place.
It's coming, man. Shout out to people like Tanks, Bouncer, Billy the Goat, yourself. I just did an interview with Tanks the other day, and I feel like he's really setting a template.
Yeah, I like Tanks. I tried to get Tanks on, but he was moving a bit. He probably didn't want to do Spill the Juice but you're saying something kind of crazy before. What did he say before? Ask my team. Yeah, he made a video about me. Yeah, shout out.
Fingers with Tanks, yeah. He says whatever he wants, bro.
He made a video about. He saw me out. Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm gonna talk to him now because he saw me out at like a Wallow and Gilly. They came over.
Oh, sick, yeah. And I didn't get invited to that, you know.
No. Didn't you?
Nah, I felt away, man. I see that. I was like, why you know that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, listen, maybe
that's what I'm saying. I went to that event. I saw him, but I didn't know who he was. I swear, I've never seen him on YouTube. So someone's come up to me with a mask on and spoke to me. I'm just thinking, like,
oh, so he had his mask on at the
I didn't even know him. So my point is, like, he's thinking I knew him in it. That's why I never said hello to him, but I didn't know him. So, but yeah, no, I love his work though. I think he's doing good content. Very good content. I think his content is amazing. Bouncer's content, I'm starting to enjoy.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's the consistency, bro. People turning up consistent.
What can't ask a question? Yeah, cool. Because I've got you here now. Like, obviously, I feel like for me, growing up, like I said already, I know where I come from in it. Yeah. But why is there pages? I feel like yourselves that like target like people on the internet, like in a bad way. Do you know what I mean? Like not target, but it's like blog pages, but they're like deeper because they actually go in and like try to destroy people's characters. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't see it as destroying people's characters, bro. It's just about keeping it real. I never set out, I'm going to assassinate Central C's character. Bro, his character can't be destroyed, bro. It's a drop in the ocean. I don't think anyone's caring what I've got to say about Central C. Like, that's not stopping his motion, but it's about honesty. And I think this is something me and Tanks touched on is a lot of the blog pages now, they're getting paid by the rappers and the labels, so they can only promote a certain narrative. You won't see a single blog page in the UK that posted my Central documentary.
That's why Shout Out made you think.
And Shout Out made you think that's,
no,
that's my guy. But
obviously,
like,
look.
He knows better than to post that. He knows better than to post that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Made you think, Shout Out my guy, because obviously we had a few little, but he's my brother in it, so I just got to shout him out. But Shout Out made you think, man.
Pioneered it for the content space as well. Like,
yeah, no, do you know what it is? What made you think, man? He was one of the first people that ever like actually helped me in the scene in terms of.
Me too, bro. One of the few, like, it took me a
He
while.
come on a holiday straight away. Didn't even know him. Boom, met him, and ever since then he's been locked in. And he's actually, yeah, man. He's done a lot. I would say he's done a lot for my brand. He's made my brand probably a lot of it what is now. So yeah, shout out.
Same.
Shout him out,
I
man.
give him that props. And it's definitely not to put him down, but more I just think that the Instagram side of the hip hop UK culture is very like, because they're not getting monetized off their views and their clicks, they kind of have to play nice with the labels. Whereas you got people like me and Tanks, where really our whole thing is like, look, we're going to keep it real. You're not going to get this real unadulterated view. This is our opinions. No one's going to pay me to put a fake narrative about somebody that I don't personally think is true based on my research. And I think that's why it's difficult, because it's like, it's not about, this page assassinates people's character. Because you could argue, I assassinated Centra's character and I big Digga D up. And it's more just like, that's just how I saw it. Like, I call it how I see it. I did my research and that's just the narrative that I thought. But I think a lot of fans there.
What about top 5 though?
What, the rapper?
Yeah, because I saw what you did a video on him like two weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying, but
I ain't assassinating his character.
But you are, because my thing is, that's my point.
Yeah.
Because right, with Central CE, it's like, I'm not saying you're praising Digga D, but you've not disrespected Digga D, you're cool with him, yeah? With Central CE, you're not disrespecting him, but you're saying that what he's done is bad. But with top 5, there's no one to put him against. So you're basically saying that
there is now.
BMR, he's got BMR, obviously.
He's beefing with them now.
Yeah, because of The Weeknd and Drake.
Yeah, it's peak. There's a couple.
I'm not gonna lie.
I seen
obviously,
post today. It's looking savage.
No, it's looking savage. But shout out top 5, man. I try to call him, but he didn't even answer today. But yeah, no, you shout them all out. But yeah, top 5. That's my
But that's
guy,
what I'm
man.
saying. Is it's trying
to get making sure when he comes wireless.
You done the top 5 thing already.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. I went to Toronto. I was with them rolling heavy 7 days. Like,
yeah.
They were Laho. What was it again? I even bought. Not the cameraman I'm with now. Yeah, but I bought my cameraman and his friend with me too. So we all went out there. It was lit, man. I can't lie. They're actually cool, but I feel like when I met them, I didn't know how big they were. I didn't know how. And then when I went there, it's like it dawned on me like how like big a moment that was for me, innit? Even in my career, because it's like I remember me and Leah May flew to Toronto. We didn't even know where we was gonna stay. We didn't know where we was gonna do the shoot. We just literally flew there, and I flew there a day early to try and pattern all of it so I can get my camera team out there. And then yeah, man, we got the top 5 interview, and that was a big moment, man, in the UK, man. I feel like we actually done something good for the UK culture content scene within Canada. That was on the news. Kodak Black, everyone viewed it, so I feel like that was a good moment for us, man. But the UK scene, I feel like this is what we need to do more of, 100%, like coming together, because I feel like
I think the UK content scene is more popping than the UK music scene right now.
100%. We are the scene. We are the scene, and I've seen that change within the last 2 years, and I think it's never going to change back because there's too much people making content, and there's too much different personalities.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. It's got to, like, you need to have some content as part of your rollout. You can't just drop a tune and it do well anymore. You need to have a story. You need to have a narrative, and a lot of people are good at that. See people like one of my favorite rappers in the UK right now is Twin S, and he knows how to do some content. He knows how to link up with Busy Entertainment and a different, you know, Billy and all these kind of people, guys that would have been too gangster to do a live stream and now popping up on Billy's stream. And I feel like that's important, that's needed, because we ain't really even had outlets like that for years. You know, you would have said that outlets were like GRM, and what's that? You're just paying to get put on the channel. I mean, shout out to them, but it's
No, shout out Posty. That's another UK goat. Him, Posty and Rashid, and there's a lot of other pages, but they are some. I think they're real UK goat because. Pause. It sounds like kind of mad, but they're the UK goats in it. But what I'm saying is why I'm saying that. Yeah, I feel like them two, and shout out Jamal. They actually built a scene. Like they actually was the gatekeeper to the scene. Like you had to, like, not comparing it to Heaven Gate, yeah, but I'm saying like they actually had the gate of heaven you needed to go to, give them your diss, and let them make you a superstar. They birthed so much superstars. So I feel like with them, man, you always got to respect what they've done, man. 100%. There's some
like a new era
serious
now.
people.
Yeah.
Serious people. But yeah, man. So in terms of going forward now for yourselves and like yourself and what you're doing and everything you're doing, what's your end goal? Because cool, there's always be new people that come through the scene. There'll always be people that are great and have personalities like Top 5 because he's new, and you always have stuff to document on them. But what's your personal goal for yourself? Is that like what you love doing and you want to do that forever? Or is there something more you want to do?
I mean, really, man, I just want to make the best content I possibly can, the best documentaries. I'm just trying to level up all the time. Right now, I'm doing a little experiment because usually I might do 3-4 hour video. It might take me a month or two to make. Right now, we're doing like 45-minute videos every week just to try a different lane. And really trying to challenge myself in different ways. For a while, it was like making them longer and longer and longer. Now it's almost like, okay, how can I touch on lots of different topics that I'm genuinely interested in and kind of like make my channel more like a world people can come into with a lot of different stories. But really at the core, my goal is just to make the best content I possibly can. I'm trying to level up every day, every which direction I can. You know, people say, oh, my videos look like Netflix. Like, I'd love to do Netflix content.
That's crazy.
One day. But right now I'm just focused on YouTube, making the best stuff I possibly can.
Who's your favorite podcast? What's your favorite podcast? I feel like you would like Diary of the CEO.
I've seen a few Diary of a CEOs that I've liked. They're cool. I mean, even just, you know, No Jumper, I locked into No Jumper all the time. You know, all the updates, all the interviews that Adam does, like, love that. Drink Champs is cool.
Yeah, Nore, I can't lie, Nore.
A bit annoying on there.
No, but Nore, for me, I feel like interviewers, yeah, Nore, I watch him a lot and I feel like he is a very good interviewer. Like, I feel like I'm even trying to learn to get better and better. And he's someone that I think is very great. I feel Charlemagne.
Yeah, Charlemagne's hard.
Charlemagne's hard.
Worth of game, like Gillian Wallow, probably some of the best out there.
I feel, yeah, Gillian Wallow are cold. But I do feel Nore, out of that American, is one of the elites.
He's the biggest personality.
Yeah, he's an elite. And I was saying it today on the way here, one of my favorite people to do podcasts, talk on shows is Simon Jordan. He is like, I think I got to read a lot more to get the knowledge because he has knowledge. I feel like when he talks, it's so powerful, man. He's one of my favorite ever podcasts or interviewer people. But obviously you're there, man. Like, where do you rank yourself? You see with all these people, your numbers are crazy, innit? Where do you rank yourself? Where would you say you are in terms of your content compared to the YouTube scene?
I mean, in the hip hop scene, like, I'm trying to be up there, but I don't know, maybe top 10, top 30. I think I was on the complex list of like top 30 content YouTube people. I think I might have been the only English.
Crazy.
That's mad.
But why don't the UK like ever big that up though? Like, why?
The UK, you know what I mean? The
they're not.
UK
It's like they're not accepting you. Do you think?
They don't rate you until they rate you in America, and by then you're gone.
But you're rated in America.
No, but that's what I mean, bro. I didn't get no love from anyone in England until I was clear in America. I was getting love from academics and Adam and Vlad before I was getting love from UK platforms. And that's not really a dig, but I just feel like the UK is very like, they like to jump on the bandwagon. And a lot of people, like, don't get me wrong, people in the UK have shown love, legendary people, but it just took a minute. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm just here to work. Like, I'm just here to grind. If people like it, that's cool. If not, I never really needed a cosign. So I don't really deep it like that. I love the relationships I've got. I'm so grateful to Adam, academics, Vlad, 10 like Jake, people that, you know, even whack, like people that just look out for me and give me advice and give me OG advice. But at the same time, I did do it myself. So, you know, I don't need anyone, but I'm just trying to be the best I can be, bro. I'm only competing against myself. I don't really like to get too into the competitive me versus them. I'm just trying to do the best I can be. And We're gonna see where that takes me, man.
And shout, do you know, like talking about that being clear in America, I feel like that's something the UK need to do is really get a show that can be big in America. But talking about personalities, Young Spray, shout him out too.
Spray, yeah, of course, man. Of course, sure,
Like, I feel like,
mention Spray.
do you feel like if his personality, if he crosses over, like if you was able to take Spray 2 months, yeah, in America, like you made Spray go with you to America, do you feel like he would go to I think he would go to a fucking another dimension, man.
I've honestly though, I know Spray well, and I feel like it's just a matter of time. A lot of these things are timing, bro. Things happen when they're meant to happen. I feel like Spray's killing it right now in this lane that he's in, but I feel like it's only going to take a moment. You never know when that moment's going to be, bro. Spray's going to have a moment that's just going to catapult him to that next level. And I feel like as a personality, with his history, his knowledge, like everything that he's been through and everything that's got him to this point. He's like a diamond, like pressure creates diamonds. I think it's just a matter of time before he really gets the shine that he really deserves. I feel like it is unfortunate he's kind of stuck in that UK lane where it's just he just needs like the right guest, the right moment. But at the same time, bro, I wouldn't knock anything that he's doing, bro. He's really made like a legacy for himself in the podcast game. Like, in the rap game, jumped to the podcast game, killed it, both fronts, and I just got to respect it. But I feel like he's just going to be so much. I feel like he's just getting started, bro. So yeah, one of the best personalities in the UK scene by far, bro. Like Spray, he's a demon on the microphone in any which way.
But what's the problem with the UK? Because you said Spray, like, why is our solution go to America? Why can't we fix what's wrong here?
It's the mindset. I feel like a lot of people in the UK is like crabs in a barrel. People like to hate on other people's success rather than celebrate it. Like, you go to America, people big you up if you're doing well, if you're making money, if you get numbers, they big you up in America. In the UK, people like snidey. They don't like to see the next man winning. They don't like to help people out. They don't want to give you some motion. They don't want to share their emotion. But I think that's part of the British culture. I think British people are very reserved. I think the class system in England has made it very hard for English people to rise above. People don't like to see other people get above their stations. Whereas in America, you've got the American dream, and everything's all about aspiration. Everyone is trying to push up. Whereas in England, a lot of people are embarrassed to even say that they've got big ambition or like big dreams. Whereas in America, you get bigged up for that. So I think that's the thing in the UK. If someone like Spray's popping out and being like, I'm trying to be the biggest UK podcaster, I want 1 million subs, a lot of people in the UK can be like, oh, yeah. Whereas in America, they're like, yeah, let's get it. So it's a bit of a cursed island, but at the same time, people that grind, people that just focus on themselves, they get where they need to be going, bro. So you can make it in the UK. It's just harder. It is more of an uphill battle, and big ups to the people that are doing it. But
Yeah, no, 100%.
Open-minded.
I feel like I go through that, but I feel like slowly but surely, as long as you're there, we're gonna get there. And I feel like the money will come into the content a lot for even like pods and stuff like this. But yeah, man, that's me. I'm trying to get my 1 million views and my 1 million subs. So I feel like that has to come with it. With like the UK scene, where do you, in terms of like you saying like, I remember when we was at my party and you was like, love man for inviting me out, man. I never get invited to like industry parties. And like you said, you didn't get invited to the Wallow and Gilly thing. Why do you think that is? Because I feel like that some of the times I don't get invited to things and I'd be like, right, well, who did I piss off? Or you don't like me, but it is what it is now, innit? I feel like I'm happy where I'm at. With you, you're like, you got the checklist. You're born in Croydon, from the UK, over 1 million subscribers. Your output is 500,000 views and like millions and millions of, like, you've done it all. You're big in America. Some will say you're white. Also, it's not even like you're black, you're white. Why are you not getting invited to all these events? What is it? Do you think it's because of the content you do and because people might look at it that, well, you're just diminishing our culture, or you're just making money telling our stories of our blood culture? Do you know what I mean? Do you think that's part of the reason? Or do you just think it's just the UK is just the UK and they don't respect what you do? They don't see it as value to them?
I'm not going to be all salty and be like, oh, they're not inviting me because I'm white or anything like that. Honestly, I feel like it's...
No.
but what I'm trying to say is-
I'm saying what I'm saying is the tick list, innit? Like,
Yeah.
because, i.e., if you are white, they're supposed to probably bred you more of what you can do, just like you're saying, like what you're saying about sense. You know what I'm saying?
What I would say is it's more on a practical level. I think because I've gone so far in America and fast, I think some people just think I'm living in America full time.
Okay.
That's the case right now. Hopefully that will change. But you know, I think sometimes people just think I'm over there, or not in an arrogant way, but I've kind of gone so far so fast. The scene is still a little bit behind me. And I feel like maybe it's almost like, well, we don't really need to help him out. We don't really need to put him on or invite him to things. He's kind of got his own thing going, and you know that's a blessing. So I don't deep it too much. I would have liked to have gone to the Gillian Wallow event because that looked lit, but it's really not that deep. And again, I don't need a cosign or an invite to get to where I need to be going. But I think some
No.
people
So I'm
just
50.
think
That's
I'm over
how
there.
I move. That's how you got to move, though. That's how it's got to be. That's how I'm. That's how I am. Like we're either gonna do it with or without you. But if we come together,
Facts.
it's great, innit? And like even like this is the opportunity for me. Like you've got 1.4. How much for?
1.4 now, yeah.
You got 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube. You do 500, 200 millions of views in months. So for me to even get you on my platform, that's how it's got to work. Because I know even if you're getting 500,000 views in 2 weeks, even if 10% of them viewers that didn't know about Spill the Juice, didn't know about my other shows, didn't know about Spill Production, and I can gain 50,000 viewers, that's changing. You know what I'm saying? So 100%, man. I feel like we need to look at where the value is in our community and come together, because that's how we're gonna win. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like UK content can be very different. I feel like with music, it's very hard to be big in America, but I feel like with UK content, because it's so accessible, your personalities, I feel like we're gonna have a chance to be very big worldwide. I don't think it's gonna be. You see how it's taken so long for Saints to go through the door. I do feel like it's just gonna take one person in the UK who does content to blow. And it's happened before because you have the young Phillies, the Chunks, the KSIs. But that's the thing why in UK, because some of the biggest YouTubers are British, it's changed the game. If you're looking back in the day, most of the biggest musicians are American, regardless. Most of the biggest ones that we look up to today, the Drakes, the Beyonce, the Jay-Z's, the 50 Cents. So it was always going to be hard for UK talent to really get in the door over there because they're used to that sound. But because of most of the biggest content creators, the Tommy Furies that are from UK, I feel like our scene and our culture, once we have the right person that actually breaks down that door, is going to go big in the UK like, I feel like a Kai Cenat. And then they're going to bring everyone through. But it's a journey, innit?
Yeah, facts, man. It's loaded, though.
It's loading, man. No, man, but no, before we wrap up, I just want to kind of ask you, for you, yeah, obviously you're Trapler Ross, you've built an amazing brand, and you've put your life in this position. Coming into this, did you ever think you would be where you are now? Like the journey, because the journey is hard. Like I'm on the journey myself, and it's hard. Do you ever feel like you would be in the position you are now, where you're gonna have 1.4 million subscribers, you got money, you're getting paid, you're living your dream? Like how was that journey for you, and how do you feel now, like where you are?
Yeah, no, I always wanted to be a YouTuber, man. That was a dream of mine, but I never thought it would go this far. Like, I always just wanted to have like 10,000 subs, go to the YouTube space, and never would have thought I got to a mil. You know, it's weird because I grinded YouTube for like 5 years, didn't get no subs, didn't get no
5 years.
yeah, didn't get nowhere with it, and then eventually just popped off, and it's almost like it took off quick, but then it was like, oh, all them years that I grinded, it was practice for when this happened. I just went all in, but I never would have thought I got to a mil. But who knows, man? Who knows? You know, you have to go for that 10 mil now. Like once I hit 100K, way quicker than I was ever expecting. It was almost just like, okay, the sky's the limit. Where can I even take this? So it's a blessing, man. I'm grateful every day that I even get to do this for a job. Always wanted to do YouTube. Comes with its highs and its lows and its hard stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm grateful. So yeah.
What apart from YouTube, what's been your biggest achievement?
Apart from YouTube, most of my achievements are in YouTube, man. I've gone all in on this life. So, you know, even just being able to make money and just before I was doing YouTube, I just had a little business doing, you know, music video content. I used to do corporate videos, and just being able to pay the rent off my own money, or you know, being able to go for a nice dinner or like treat.
And now you're living in them big buildings. You got
living out.
you're living in them big buildings. You got the money, man.
Like buying a house, that was a big achievement. I mean, that's somewhat off the back of YouTube. I've always been quite sensible with my finances. I've been saving for a house damn near my whole life. So that was a big achievement. Partly YouTube funded, partly, you know, other things that I did and good financial decisions that I'd made. But really, I'm all in on YouTube. You know, my big achievement.
So are you would you say you're an entrepreneur?
I'd say I am, but I could definitely be more of an entrepreneur. I think one day I'd like to get more into that lane. But
well, I want to create a film, so we're looking
Yeah.
for investors. So
Hey, everyone's saying we might have to look at the numbers.
come look at the numbers, man.
Sure.
Looking at the numbers.
Sick.
Well, look, I appreciate you coming on. I think it's been amazing. It's definitely been a classic. First episode of Real Spill. We got some real spill today, I can't lie. So thank you for coming on. Please subscribe. Now, let you tell them, because I feel like if you told them, they might actually do it.
Maybe, hopefully, man.
So you tell them.
Traplore Ross on YouTube. Trap More Ross if you want to see my second channel with more short little updates. I've been a bit quiet on there, but I'm going to be back soon. And yeah, just tap in with the documentaries. I always got something new dropping. Traplore Ross on YouTube. If you like hip hop, you like drill music, gangster rap, history, just tap in, man. That's what I'm on.
Yeah, man, thanks, man.